like it. And I understand, and you know what? I think because of where this government has driven a coach and horses through any sense of consensus, of building a kind of consensus for this country on this issue. They've driven a coach and horses through that, and now we've polarised. And ultimately, I think now that you've got Boris Johnson, in effect a hard Brexiteer, talking about no deal, proroguing Parliament, what we're doing is saying there are lots of people in this country who want the opposition to say that that is unacceptable, and that if there is no deal or a Tory Brexit, which is damaging to jobs, damaging to our country, we will put it back to the people.
What happens in a snap election, as the unions were saying yesterday, in a snap election that Labour wins? Will a Labour government renegotiate the withdrawal agreement with the EU and then campaign for that deal, in other words, Brexit?
So let's be quite clear, that's what the trade unions have said, not what Labour said. And obviously the Shadow Cabinet's meeting today to make its position clear on this, and it may even finish while we're on air. And we can discuss that then. But what the trade unions are saying, and I can see the logic of what they're saying, which is we've got millions of people, millions of voters who vote Labour, but who also voted for Brexit. And there are millions of people across this country who voted for Brexit. And what we're saying is, if we win that general election, we will come into power, and if we can renegotiate that deal, a Labour deal, we will, because that's what people ask for.
Would you campaign for a Brexit deal by Labour?
No, I wouldn't.
Right.
But the principle here is that we are putting that back to the British people.
You're a member of the front bench, but you would not campaign for Labour's deal for Brexit.
So there's history. There's history on. There's
I don't want to do history.
There's a precedent for this. There's a precedent for this. The last.
We have got to be clear with our viewers, and I ask you again: is Labour now a party of Remain, or is it only a party of Remain on a Conservative Brexit deal or no deal? And actually, it's still a party of Brexit if Labour were to win a snap election, which it is expecting, and then renegotiates its own deal.
It renegotiates what the Tories have negotiated and puts that back to the British people. I think that's quite clear, and I think it's very democratic. It is clear. I understand it. If I can understand it, I'm sure you can understand it.
I'll tell you who can't understand it is Andrew Adonis here, who says Jeremy's letter is unsatisfactory as it doesn't rule out Labour seeking to negotiate a fantasy better Brexit after a general election, one which you wouldn't back. Time for weasel words and policy feints is over. Labour is a Remain party. We need an unambiguously Remain policy. If you were a Remain voter, a Labour Remain voter, why would you vote for the Labour Party if they were going to have a Brexit deal?
I think you'd vote for them for a number of reasons. One, because you won't just be voting on Brexit. It will be a choice.
All of that. Why would you do it?
Brexit, because you know that whatever the deal is that Labour negotiates will go back to the British public to decide, is that acceptable or not?
Yeah, but Labour would then be on the side of Brexit.
Well, no, it wouldn't necessarily. Because what we know, it's entirely possible for the government, a Labour government, to put forward that this is our deal, but to give a free vote to the front bench, a free vote to Labour MPs to be able to campaign on what they want. That's happened in the last referendum back in the 1970s, 1975. It can happen again. It's not rocket science.
This is, I think, to a lot of Labour voters, too complicated and too late, frankly. If there's an election in the autumn,